Hello everybody, Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at the brand new Gundam Universe series, RX-78-2 Gundam. Specifically, this figure in the series is GU-01. I picked this figure up over at Hobbylink Japan, but I believe it's also available at the Big Bad Toy Store and the Chosen Prime. The figure itself is in a nice little box. Got some really nice artwork up here. The figure is visible, and then we've got stuff going on the back of the box. So let's open them up and take a look. The accessories the figure comes with are two beam sabers, two different saber grips, a beam rifle, a stand for, or a crotch attachment that he can then be stood up on a stand and it falls out, the shield connector, the figure itself, I said the shield, and then two different types of hands, one open or one closed hand for holding the beam saber and one hand for holding the rifle. From foot to head, the figure is well modeled and feels incredibly good, but it also feels like a toy. I'm not sure what kind of plastic they're using, but it works well. The coloring is spot on, and this is probably my favorite rendition next to the one of the more recent masterpiece sets of the RX-78 Gundam. Head sculpt is excellent, and the painting on the eyes and the face are also top quality. Height-wise, the figure scales between a Siege Voyager class figure and a Siege Deluxe class figure. Poseability is excellent. Head is on a ball joint, though it is slightly limited just due to the size of the head. There is a swivel and ball joint setup in the shoulder, hinge for in and out movement, double bend at the elbow that can barely pull off a 90-degree bend, and then a ball joint or a poly ball joint for fist articulation. There are multiple joints in the abs, so you've got one in the ab and then one in the torso, so you can get some decent ab crunching going on. Then there is the leg, which can kick forward and back, and the hinging there is a hinge in the hip that is in the crotch, and then a ball joint sticking out of that. So you can get some really nice posability out of this thing. Swivel just above that, over 90-degree bend at the knee, and then ankle articulation for days. Though the ankle armor does get in the way, thankfully you can just kind of push it out of the way, because it's on its own set of joints. Now, the little component that I talked about that pegs into the back here, you just snap it into place in what is effectively the robot's butt, and that gives you a peg for posing this thing on a stand, which, believe it or not, is greatly appreciated. The shield that the figure comes with is the classic RX-78-2's shield with the cross motif, and then the connector is simply snapped on to the little joint in the back, and you actually get a good bit of posability here. It's like it's got its own little ball joint, so the figure can then hold the shield if you flip it around like that, or it can be posed or connected to the back of the robot mode by flipping around like that. The shield, however, does not go simply onto the arm. You have to pull the fist off if you just want to use the closed fist, and even then you can't get the fist back on, so you're just kind of holding the shield off to the side. You really need to use the open grabbing hand for the shield, which then is its own kettle of difficulty getting the actual shield handle into this hand. It's not easy. But unlike the closed fist, it can be done. It just requires quite a bit of force, more than I'm actually comfortable with. So you can get the shield to be wielded very elegantly, though not easily. Now, one thing I am thankful for is the ball joints here are not like the polycaps. They come off very easily. They just require a little bit of force, not a metric ton like some of the other Gundam models or Gundam toys that I've gotten in the past. This actually works pretty darn easily, thankfully, and getting the hand into, or getting the blaster handle into the hand is very easy, which I greatly appreciate. The only issue, though, is you kind of have to push the arm or the hand down a little bit and then put it again to plug it into the arm and then move it up. Not the end of the world. It does look a little bit off, but again, it's not the end of the world. It's a Gundam, so what are you going to do? Oh, and yes, you can bend the shot reticle down. It will snap off if you bend it down too far, which I just did, and it went somewhere. Oh man, where'd you go? Here, little shot reticle. I've got to admit, the figure looks pretty darn good on this stand. Now, eagle-eyed viewers might recognize that I have not installed the beam sabers into his shoulder packs. So I am going to do that right now. And these are actually a little bit difficult to peg in. There's a lot of tension there, so I do worry that they might break at some point, but that's probably not going to happen. So then we have the Gundam RX-78-2 proper. Now, speaking back to the shield, I'm going to go ahead and plug it into the back here to give you all a look of what it looks like when it's carrying its shield on its back. The one thing that I am a little bit disappointed with is there's no way for the figure to carry the beam rifle in the robot mode other than its hand, so there's nothing on the back that allows you to peg it in. Also, you can't take the magazine stock and fold it out so it could be held like that, or like he does in the show, which is a bit of a disappointment, but not the biggest deal in the world. So let's go ahead and pull off a beam saber and then attach one of the beams, like so. I think that works pretty well. Would be nice if it could hold it a little bit tighter, but that's definitely a Gundam. And it is very cool that you could pull off some iconic poses with this guy. Though the stand I have helps a lot more than one of the old-fashioned Tamashii stands with the little plug in the bottom. I tried one of those and he immediately fell off. I like this figure a lot. I think the coloring works incredibly well. It's a good size. It just feels really good in the hand. Poseability is tight without being worrying that, you're going to break the darn thing. And it just works well. It's a fun toy. And if you're a fan of Gundam, I highly recommend picking this up. No, it's not a Gunpla. You're not going to have as much freedom of expression as you would with a Gunpla, but you could still repaint this, and it could still benefit from some panel lining, which you can do yourself. It's worlds of fun. It's a ton of fun and definitely worth having in your collection. So folks, let me know what you think of this guy down in the comments. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and be sure to hit the bell so you know when a new video is out. Thank you so much. And please follow me over on patreon.com/Baltmatrix. Your monthly financial contribution is going to enable me to keep getting figures once YouTube does its thing in 2020. Thank you so much for watching this video review. I have been Baltmatrix, and I will catch you next time.